Did you know that reaching $200,000 in your investment account actually means you are already halfway to becoming a millionaire? At first glance, that statement sounds completely wrong. How can 200,000 be the halfway point when it is mathematically only 20% of 1 million? The answer lies in a secret that the wealthy understand, but most people never discover until it is too late. It is not about the amount of money you have right now. It is about the amount of time that remains. When you look at the journey toward financial freedom through the lens of time, the math changes completely. Reaching $200,000 is the most difficult and exhausting part of the entire process. But once you cross that specific line, the momentum shifts in your favor forever. Imagine you are standing at the bottom of a massive mountain, looking up at the peak representing $1 million. The first few years of your climb will feel like you are pushing a heavy boulder uphill with your bare hands. This is what we call the slow grind. It is the part of the journey that nobody brags about on social media because it feels painfully uneventful. During this phase, you are doing nearly 100% of the heavy lifting. Every dollar that goes into your account comes from your own hard work, your long hours, and your sacrifices. If you invest $100, your account goes up by exactly $100. The market might add a few pennies here and there, but it feels like your money is just sitting there, barely moving. For most people, it takes about 12 years of consistent saving just to reach the first $100,000. During those 12 years, it is incredibly easy to lose heart. You look at your balance after a decade of discipline and realize you are still so far from the finish line. You see your neighbors buying new cars or taking luxury vacations, and you wonder if your sacrifice is even worth it. But this is exactly where the average person makes their biggest mistake. They stop pushing the boulder just before it reaches the crest of the hill. They do not realize that the first $100,000 is the hardest money you will ever earn. It is the foundation, the excavation, and the structural steel of your future. Once you reach that first six-figure milestone, something subtle begins to change in the background of your life. Suddenly, your money starts to develop a mind of its own. The interest and the growth start to contribute significant amounts to the total. Instead of taking another 12 years to double your money, the jump from 100,000 to 200,000 happens much faster. If you stay consistent, you will likely hit $200,000 around year 18. Think about that for a moment. It took you 12 years to get the first half, but only 6 years to get the second half. The speed of your progress has literally doubled. This is the moment when compounding stops being a theory and starts being your business partner. At $200,000, a simple 7% return generates $14,000 in a single year. That is over $1,000 every month that you did not have to work for. It is like having a silent employee working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without ever asking for a raise. This is the tipping point where your money starts to match your own efforts. If you are contributing $1,000 a month from your paycheck, your portfolio is now matching that contribution with its own growth. You have effectively cloned your productivity. This is why we say that $200,000 is the true halfway point to a million. In terms of the timeline, you have spent 18 years getting to this point. And if history is our guide, it will take roughly another 18 to 20 years to reach the full million. The time spent is equal on both sides of that $200,000 line. However, the second half of the journey feels completely different. In the first half, you were the engine. In the second half, you are simply the pilot. The growth becomes exponential, curving upward like a plane taking off from a runway. By the time you reach the final stretch, your contributions will matter very little compared to the massive gains from the market. In the final few years, your portfolio might grow by $50,000 or even $100,000 in a single year. That is more than many people earn in an entire year of full-time labor. But reaching this stage requires a specific type of mental toughness that is rare in today's world. We live in an era of instant gratification and overpriced temptations. Everywhere you look, there are invitations to spend your future for a moment of present comfort. In 2025, the average price of a new car has climbed toward $50,000. That is a staggering amount of money for a machine that loses value every time you turn the key. For a person trying to build wealth, that $50,000 car is not just a monthly payment. It is a massive hole in your future snowball. If you take $50,000 out of your investments early on, you are not just losing that cash. You are losing the hundreds of thousands of dollars that money would have become over 20 years. The same applies to the small daily leaks in your finances. A $7 cup of coffee or a $15 fast food meal might seem insignificant, But when those habits are repeated daily, they act like a slow drain on your potential. In today's economy, being average means being broke and stressed about the future. The national savings rate is hovering at dangerous lows because people are choosing today over tomorrow. They are buying branded clothing and the latest electronics to look successful, while their retirement accounts are empty. True success is quiet. It is the person driving a 10-year-old car while their portfolio quietly crosses the $200,000 mark. They understand that the goal of investing is not to buy things. The goal is to buy your time back. Financial independence is the ability to wake up and decide exactly how you will spend your day. It is the freedom to say no to a toxic job or a stressful project without fearing for your survival. When you have a significant nest egg, you have negotiating power in every area of your life. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are the architect of your own destiny. But to get there, you must survive the middle years. You must be willing to be bored while your money grows. Investing is often described as watching paint dry or watching grass grow. If you want excitement, go to a casino. If you want wealth, stay consistent with boring index funds and a long-term plan. The math behind a 7% inflation-adjusted return is time-tested and reliable. It accounts for the rising cost of groceries, utilities, and housing. It is a conservative anchor that allows you to plan with confidence. Even if you started late, the principle of the tipping point still applies to you. The second half of your journey will always be faster than the first. If you can reach that $200,000 milestone, you have already done the hardest work. You have built the discipline. You have mastered your spending. And most importantly, you have proven to yourself that you can stay the course. From this point forward, your main job is to simply get out of the way. Do not try to time the market. Do not chase the latest investment fads or crypto memes. Let the power of compounding do the heavy lifting for you. Protect your hauntuyat, your snowball, from the heat of unnecessary spending. As your income rises through promotions or experience, resist the urge to upgrade your lifestyle immediately. Instead, use that extra income to feed the fire of your investments. Every extra dollar you add now acts like high-quality fuel for your wealth engine. It might take another decade to see the full results, but the outcome is nearly certain if you remain patient. Remember that $1 million is not just a number on a screen. It represents a safe withdrawal of about $40,000 per year for the rest of your life. When combined with other income sources, it provides a life of dignity and peace. You will not be a burden to your children. You will not have to worry about the rising cost of healthcare. You will be the one providing help rather than seeking it. The journey to your first $200,000 is a test of character. It tests your patience, your vision, and your ability to delay gratification. But once you pass that test, the rewards are greater than you can imagine. So, if you are currently in the middle of the grind, do not stop. If you feel like you are not making progress, look at the math again. Every day you stay invested, the curve gets a little steeper. The momentum is building, even if you cannot see it yet. Stay focused on the process, not the daily fluctuations of the market. Build your foundation deep and strong. The summit of the mountain is closer than it feels. Keep pushing, keep saving, and keep believing in the power of time. Your future self will thank you for the choices you're making today. The path to $1 million is open to anyone with the discipline to start and the courage to continue. Reaching $200,000 is your green light to greatness. Trust the system, trust the math, and most importantly, trust yourself. The second half of your life's greatest financial journey starts now. Take a deep breath and keep moving forward. You are much closer than you think.